Twitter on fire after laying off 3,700 workers.
So I think it's safe to say that Twitter is pretty much on fire right now, and there are a lot of different articles swirling around out there. They're kind of confusing.
Well, fire's hot, and Twitter's definitely hot. They said it's the highest amount of engagement Twitter's ever had. I'm not surprised. I think everybody's just waiting to see what's going to happen.
Getting sued because he broke the WARN Act. Oh, JK, no, he's not. So I did the research, and I kind of wanted to catch everyone up on the timeline of Twitter and how it's pretty much just gone down. I guess it just depends on who you ask, but yeah, he's free to do whatever he wants. He owns the company. I'm not saying he shouldn't, but this is just some research to get you up to speed with how everything at Twitter has gone down so far, and it's hilarious. So on October 27th, the deal finally went through. Right. And as soon as Elon bought Twitter, he fired the CEO, the CFO, the general counsel, and the trust and safety person. As soon as he did that...
I mean, if you bought the company and you think they don't fucking know what they're doing, wouldn't you do the exact same thing? I feel like with many company takeovers, the entire executive suite gets axed. Like this happened with my dad's company before. Yeah, you wipe it. Yeah, it's not even super surprising. You could have expected that. Yeah, it's like Game of Thrones. Yeah, exactly. It's Game of Thrones.
Rumors started swirling around about layoffs in the company Slack on blind.com, but he didn't lay anyone off just yet. He says everyone needs to work 12 hours, 7 days a week.
Twitter staff have been told to work 84-hour weeks, and managers slept at the office over the weekend as they scrambled to meet Elon Musk's tight deadlines, reports say. Yeah, I could have pretty much expected that.
Week to get the new feature.
This is the same shit he did with Tesla and with SpaceX. Yeah, this is how he does things.
And by new feature, I'm talking about the $8 a month verification check mark. Right. So after Elon ordered
how many of you guys bought the check mark? Yeah, be honest. Be honest. How many of you guys did it? Me, not me, nope, not me. I'm about to, Lamau, I'm about to. Okay, so it's looking like maybe like 20-30% of people that are responding. So that's pretty good. Maybe it's a little bit closer to 20 to 15 or so. Just by like looking at this. I think that why though, and that's the thing, is that you have to have more value adds. It's like, for example, Amazon Prime. You have so many value propositions with Amazon Prime. So it's like the WoW sub. Like having classic WoW attached to the WoW sub is a value add. So it's like you don't just get regular WoW, you also get classic WoW. Well, whenever you buy Amazon Prime, you don't just get Amazon Prime, you also get Twitch Prime. And you also get fucking the Amazon movies and shit. So the more things that you can add into it, the higher the value proposition is. And with Twitter, right now, the value proposition is a check mark. This is not a very good value proposition for a lot of people.
Everyone to start working on that blue check mark, we started to see some things about the company morale and how things were working out on the day-to-day there. So here's a picture. This picture was shared by an employee named Evan Jones who works at the products department of Twitter. The person in the picture is his boss, who is seen sleeping on the office floor. So this is a pretty clever plan. They tell everyone that they have to come in and work all day, every day, and if they don't like it, they can quit. I'm assuming that's what some people did. Then he avoids having to pay those people unemployment. So obviously this indicates a great work-life balance at Twitter, and things are obviously going swell. Employees were actually asked by their managers to work extra hours to meet the deadlines, and they've also been asked to justify their work, their team's work, and the value they add to the company.
I think that's very fair. Like working 84-hour weeks, yeah, this is crazy. But, like, basically, yeah, why are you here? Please explain why you are here, what you do. I think it's common sense. Yeah, of course that's what people are going to do. Many companies do this, like restructuring. Lamau, why? Because sometimes, whenever you have your vision of the company, and then this person tells you, well, I do this thing, well, that's not part of the vision, so they're out. Yeah, Office Space. Well, I take things to the engineers, to the developers. Well, I'm a people person. Engineers aren't people. I have to take them. No, well, why can't they just take it directly to the engineers? Yes, exactly.
They've also been asked to justify their code, and Elon even brought Tesla engineers to review Twitter software engineers' code, which is his right. He's the owner. He could be like, what do you do for me? How do you make me money? Which is not the typical way people do things. But now this was...
I think it kind of is. I feel like especially like a reevaluation of a company in terms of like restructuring and everything. Like I don't think that's super uncommon. The 84-hour work week, this is nuts. But the other two are not.
Before he announced any official layoffs. All this is happening. People are working 12 hours a day without any confirmed layoffs. Has it already started? Happy layoff eve. This was before the official layoff happened.
Yeah, you find out you're fired whenever your account password has been changed.
Day before,
Surprise!
And there was no communication to anyone. People just started getting locked out. Slack was closed. They couldn't access their code anymore.
Yeah.
People just started getting locked out. Yet there's still no communication from anyone telling them what's happening.
They did this at my dad's company where like they restructured. There was like 800 people in a company. They brought 50 people into an office room and they told them that everybody who's not in the office room is fired. And they brought in the police and like security guards to escort all 750. Like, I don't know about the numbers exactly, okay? But it's something like this, like all 750 other people, get them the fuck out of here. We're just going to have these guys and that's it. So yeah, this is not an Elon Musk only thing. I'm not saying that it's good, but I do think that an evaluation of, you know, like, so what do you do here? I think that's kind of fair. I do.
So you can kind of guess what's going to come next. Elon decides to fire roughly 3,700 people all at once on the spot, which violates the WARN Act, which is the Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification, which basically says if you lay off over a certain amount of employees without any notice, you have to pay them 60 days. So you either have to give them 60 days notice or you have to...
Oh, he did pay them. My understanding is that he did pay them. Am I wrong about that? Because I remember reading that he said that he did. He's paying them 60 days. He pays them till February. Yeah. He gave them 90 days? That's a lot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did see that. He is pledged. Yes, he's pledged to pay them for 90 days.
Pay them. And when he fired everyone, there was no communication about severance packages. People were just getting fired left and right.
Yeah.
And so that's why you saw articles saying that Twitter's being sued for violating the WARN Act. It's funny because they actually preemptively sued Twitter ahead of time, banking on the fact that he was going to violate the WARN Act and fire everyone. Right. Typically what happens with companies that violate the WARN Act, that don't give any notification, they end up paying the money.
Yeah,
however,
that's what they
if you don't go asking for that money, if you don't go looking for that money, companies aren't going to come to you and be like, yeah, we know we fired all of you. Here's your money. Now, we've actually seen this with Better.com.
Yeah, because they can save money. It's the same as like how these companies want you to forget that you have like a subscription to their website. That's why everybody wants you to have subscriptions now. It's because people forget about their subscriptions.
He was going to give everyone 4 weeks of severance after he fired the 900 people, but then after people started looking into lawsuits, they were like, you know what? We're going to give everyone 2 months severance because we're just so generous and we care about our employees, but really they just were giving the legal minimum required to, you know, not get punished.
That's like whenever Walmart tells you how much they care about you because they pay you 7 cents above minimum wage.
Companies don't really care about this. They're not going to prioritize the WARN Act. They're just going to cut costs wherever they have to and then think about what that costs them later. Once Elon fired all of these people, obviously some people were looking into like, hey, I didn't get a notification. You violated the WARN Act. But then Elon put out a tweet that said, regarding Twitter's reduction in force, unfortunately, there is no choice when the company is losing over $4 million a day. Yeah, I get it. You can do whatever you want. You're losing money. I don't expect you to just lose money and, you know, into the ground. Like, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. He says everyone...
I think it could... I mean, like, both of these things are true, right? Is like, it sucks for all those people who lost their job. It absolutely fucking sucks for them. Because a lot of them, yes, they might not necessarily fit into Elon Musk's vision of what Twitter is going to be. However, these people could have come to work every day and did what they were asked to do and tried to do a good thing, and they lost their job. That sucks. Absolutely fucking sucks.
Exited was offered 3 months of severance, which is 50% more than legally required. There were some people out there that were saying, wow, 3 months of not having to work? straight into the holiday season sounds nice to me.
That's nice.
And I mean, they're Twitter software engineers, Twitter employees. I'm sure it won't be too difficult for them to go someplace else, but it still sucks
Maybe.
when people get let go. After he fires the 3,700 people, the next day they realize, wait.
Keep in mind, they also have to compete with 3,700 other people for those new jobs.
We might have needed some of those people. So here's a tweet from Casey Newton. From the Slack at Twitter, it says, sorry to @ everybody on the weekend, but I wanted to pass along that we have the opportunity to ask folks that we fired, I like how they say that we're left off, if they will come back. I need to put together names and rationales by 4 p.m. on Sunday. So people were let go before management even realized that their work and work experience may be necessary to build the new features that Elon Musk is envisioning.
Yeah, that was a really bad one. Like, that's like whenever you kick somebody out of a raid, like you kick a healer out of a raid and you spend like a half hour in trade chat trying to find another healer and you can't and you have to re-invite them. And it's like, right, let's just, can you please get out of the, can you just please get out of the fire this time, please? Like, let's just fucking get this done, please. You know, ego will kill him. Well, I mean, I would argue that telling everybody that, like, yeah, I fucked up on firing a few of you guys. It's my bad. I think that's kind of like I would say that's the opposite of ego. But overall, it's intentional so they can renegotiate their salary and benefits. Elon's smart to make a mistake like that. So he fired them so he can rehire them again at a lower amount of money. I like that. Yeah, that's probably actually true. Never mind. Yeah, I think that's actually true.
Which brings me to one of the comments from the last video from Sir Hamsterlot, where he was talking about how your boss and your company knows your job better than you do. He said, employers know what each individual provides. That's literally their job and what drives their decisions on who to promote and give bonuses to. Well, Sir Hamsterlot, you have been proven a fool. Clearly, this is not the case. How do you fire someone and go, oh wait, we might need them? If I was still employed at Twitter right now, I'd be looking for a new job because Elon...
I think that in general, that's probably true. Like, that is probably true in most cases, that the company probably has a better idea of somebody's value than the person themselves. And I would say, if nothing else, a differently biased view. Sure, of course.
Is going to do whatever he has to do to make that company profitable and make it the platform for freedom of speech or something like that. But I'd probably be looking for a new job because the way communication seems to be handled at Twitter does not seem to be in the
I definitely agree with that. Bad take, terrible take. I mean, you see these companies, they fire a bunch of fucking people, then they're making more money. How do you think that happens? How do you think that happens? Like, technology is evolving constantly. Remember how they used to have like fucking 8 or 9 different checkout lines open? And now there's like 1 and everything else is self-checkout and those other 7 people are not having a job now? Well, it seems like these companies are doing great. So yes, I would trust the people whose job it is and entire fucking function in the company to evaluate the company more than the person inside of their own job to evaluate it. It's common sense. Quicker than we think too. Yeah, exactly. We've been there's a lot of employees just coasting, doing barely what's required. Well, it's hard to say. I don't want to make a statement like that. I mean, maybe there were some people like that, maybe not. But I do think he makes a good point here, where it's like, okay, if you see everybody else getting fired and you have some boss who's just fucking out of control, doing crazy shit, you can't predict it, then yeah, abso-fucking-lutely, you'd want to look at a new job or have something on the back burner,
Boy's favorite.
That's some corporate capitalist bullshit. You're getting mad about, man, people not happy about that opinion I have. That like other random fucking workers, some like random assembly line worker is not going to have as better of an understanding as the person who designs the assembly line. Yeah, look, I mean, think whatever you want, but I mean, there's a reason why these companies keep doing it.
At all, so I'd probably be on the way out.
Reality.
Another fun fact that's been happening recently is Twitter has lost a decent user base. They've lost advertisers since the Elon Musk takeover, and then there was this tweet that went out.
I don't think that I don't think that there's been any evidence that I've seen that Twitter has lost any users. As far as I know, is there any evidence of that? Elon claims the usage is up. I think that you could logically assume that the usage of Twitter is up because everybody is talking about it. It does not even necessarily mean that Twitter is doing better. It just means that everybody is talking about it. It's the same thing. Everybody's always talking about Donald Trump, right? Even after he lost the election, they're all talking about him. It's the same thing. People just want to know what you're going to do next, what's going to happen next. But they have lost advertisers.
From Mike Davis that says, you have nearly 114 million followers. Name and shame the advertisers who are succumbing to the advertiser boycott so we can counter boycott them and get your $8 monthly subscription going ASAP so we can start to make up for lost revenue now. And Elon says, thank you. A thermonuclear name and shame is exactly what will happen if this continues. So does that mean he's about to just be like, here's a company that pulled out of Twitter, here's a company that pulled out because of this and this and this, and pretty interesting. I don't know what the legal ramifications are of a obfuscated maybe threat or implication of saying something like this, but that seems...
I think you can never rely... Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that kind of stuff. It's like if you're an advertiser and you drop somebody at the first sign that like there's anything that's going to go wrong because you're afraid that a few people are going to call the office that are angry that, the person who runs it is like not agreeing with them. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that at all. It's up to you. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. It's the same as like anything else. I mean, if you want to pull out of a business deal, that's totally fucking fine. But it's not like nobody can criticize you for that. Bad-mouthing your ex-financers is bad business? Oh, it is until you're so important and so powerful that you can do that. And then it's okay.
It's pretty big. Now, the Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey, I
don't think they're going to do that, by the way. I don't think that would happen. It would be, in my opinion, a bad judgment.
Left out of the spotlight, and he said, I realize many are angry with me. I own the responsibility for why everyone is in this situation. I grew the company's size too quickly. How many times have we heard this before? We expanded too fast, and then insert market downturn, insert buyout, acquisition, insert any number of reasons. I expanded too fast and made a mistake. Therefore, everyone that I employ is now having to deal with those consequences. Jack, it's getting old. One other comment here from the last...
I don't think it's his fault at all. Like, Twitter was doing fine. Twitter's been doing fine. Twitter's a great website. It always has been. I don't know what he's apologizing for. The website was fucking fine. Yeah, what's he apologizing for? It's okay. It was making a loss. Twitter was in debt. Oh yeah, no, that was fucking bad, like for sure. But like as a user, I think Twitter was fine. Yeah, no, you're definitely right. It was losing money. I don't know how you can make money unless you have people that are paying you money though. Like honestly, because like you just have to rely entirely on advertisers, and like the thing is like advertisers don't want to be involved in controversy, and like all controversies happen on Twitter. So like how do you reconcile these two things? It's like impossible. So it's not even really his fault. It's just like by the nature of what it is.
Video because I really want to rub their nose.
It's like you run a website like LiveLeak, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, we either ban like 90% of the videos or we're ban 90% of the advertisers. I mean, like, fuck.
And it is from Julius Mays, who says, if you work hard, yeah, you get rewarded most of the time. You sound young and inexperienced. Being spoiled and expecting to get everything handed to you is an ignorant way of thinking. Would you like to tell that to the 3,700 people who now have no job and were probably, at least some of them, were hard workers? Here's Joan. She was on the...
Yeah, I think that's what happens. I mean, sometimes people lose their job for reasons that are out of their control. I mean, this happens. It fucking sucks. And I feel bad for anybody who that happens to. I don't like the narrative that working hard will not increase your chances of being successful. I think that there are a lot of cases, I'm sure you guys have had cases like this, where you work harder than somebody else at a job, and because of seniority or some sort of relationship they have with the superiors, they get something over you. I think this does happen. However, I think that if you want to look at it on a broad spectrum, and you take 1,000 people that work hard and you take 1,000 people that don't work hard, the odds are the 1,000 people that work hard are going to be ahead, assuming all other factors are equal.
Forefront of the machine learning ethics, transparency, and accountability team, and she was making big moves. And, she got fired. as well. The entire team actually got canned. So, Julius, you work hard to get rewarded? No. You work hard, you get more work, or you get canned. And then lastly, one comment from Wesley Franken. He said, I'm the only hardware engineer, software engineer, and system engineer. He says, I make a lot of hours because I want to, because my butt's not the only one that's on the line. I think we figured out, because you posted this last Friday. I have a question for you. Do you work at Twitter? Because now everyone's doing like 3 people's jobs. So, Wesley, yeah. You work at Twitter, buddy? But anyways, guys,
that's what they do at a lot of these places. Is like now they've like multi-purposed like, you know, a number of different people's jobs. Like I remember my dad told me they were doing this at Home Depot, like making the, you know, the sales associates do inventory and all kinds of this stuff. It's just all like money-saving functionality. That's all it comes down to. And I also, I don't think that InstaQuit, if they do that, and then what? That's fine. You want to InstaQuit if they do that, totally fucking fine. But then you've got to get another job, or you've got to get on welfare, or you can start selling drugs or like a couple of other things. Maybe invest in crypto and become a billionaire. Something like that. I think that this is a good thing. The reason why I think it's a good thing is that automation is going to completely take over the majority of the workforce, upwards of probably 80 to 90%. So the idea that this is something that we need to hold on to, or anything like that, is just slipping away more and more every single day. And I can't welcome it soon enough. I've been a very big advocate of universal basic income for years. And I think that with things like this and automation in general, it will become more and more prevalent. You're saying do both jobs that delegate to you until they poorly until they fire you? Yeah, so you can get unemployment. That's true, man. Nowhere near 90%. I think that you vastly underestimate it will never work. I wonder how many people said that about automation on assembly lines. Yeah, I wonder how many people said that, and, you know, Industrial Revolution and everything like that. Yeah, sure. For sure, man. Look, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally fucking wrong, but that's what I think is going to happen. I think it's necessary.
Has been the saga of the Twitter takeover thus far. And I think I would just like to remind everyone to always be looking, always be applying to new jobs. You don't have to respond to any of the replies you get if you're applying to jobs, but you get the email communication that you can simply pick back up and respond to later when you need it. So always put job applications out there, always be ready to move, always be upping your skill set. Very cutthroat, very ruthless. There's no emotion involved in this. It's just pure accounting, statistics.
All you have to do is change a couple of words, and this is an Andrew Tate video.
And money. They need money. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the update, click that sub button, click the like button, and let me know what you guys think. If you have anything you want me to take a look at on the channel, you can send me an email, grindreal@gmail.com, Discord, Instagram, however you want to do it. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for a lot of the people that lost their job at Twitter if they were trying to do a good thing, you know? Like, there's always people that work hard and they lose their fucking job, and that sucks. I know, obviously, there's some people that think that, you know, Twitter is, they don't like the political direction of Twitter, and so they're glad to see these people lose their fucking jobs. I think that most people probably, you know, they just try to do their job. Like, that's about it. They don't really care too much about that stuff. It's not that big of a deal. Meta laid off 11,000 workers. Well, as I've said, I think that there's going to be, I mean, we're going into a recession anyway. That's what everybody is fucking saying. You know, how many of you guys with your investments are down in like the past 3 months? I'm sure I'm not the only one. Me? Yeah, me. I am. It is what it is, right? I mean, it sucks, but there it is. So, of course, these places are going to be laying people off. Twitter is not immune from different marketplace, you know, expansions and contractions. It makes sense. You aren't down unless you sell. I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. Who gives a fuck? There are men in third world countries who break their backs just to feed their family, and I'm supposed to care about these first world liberal SJW losers? Well, let's be honest, man. You don't care about either one of them. So either way, I do think that having this happen to these people really fucking sucks. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people from Twitter are looking for other jobs. Like, yeah, it makes sense. I'll link this video again. We've watched a couple of this guy's videos, Joshua's videos. I think they're pretty good, and it gives like a very I like it because he's pretty opinionated about it, so it gives me more things to talk about. I prefer that vastly over people who just talk about the news generally. Does it matter who makes bad decisions? If I'm an engineer or doctor and they make bad decisions or unethical, you get fired. Could also make the argument there's a recession and saving some money and then some engineers. Such a basic platform makes sense. Maybe they didn't need all those engineers. I think that so you're misunderstanding. I'm not like showing sympathy does not necessarily mean that I think that they're in the right and what happened to them was wrong. So, like, for example, if somebody smokes their whole life and then, they get lung cancer, I can feel really bad for them that this happened to them. Like, this fucking sucks, man. Like, yes, you did this to yourself, or like you're fat and, like now you're in a wheelchair. I can feel bad for a morbidly obese person who's in a wheelchair who can barely walk around at Walmart. I can feel bad for that person while at the same time thinking to myself, you played yourself. You did this yourself. So it's okay for you to express sympathy towards someone, even if you agree with the outcome. You can understand on like a personal level why it's upsetting for them. You see kind of what I'm saying? Well, it's a bad comparison? No, it's not, because if it was, you'd say why. I'm going to laugh at the fat person in a wheelchair at Walmart. I try not to do anything like that, okay? You're feeling empathy? Well, no, it's just that, like, it's not unreasonable for you to think that it sucks if you randomly lose your fucking job. Some guy buys the company, you randomly lose your fucking job. You don't need to be like a psychologist or a psychiatrist, like some empathetic wizard, to be able to know that, this sucks, man. Yeah, nobody cares unless it happens to you. Exactly. Automation's definitely coming, and that will maximize company profits. They love money. If universal basic income doesn't happen, however, these companies won't make anything as no one can buy anything due to being jobless. Well, I think that you're going to have probably the government paying the money, and then also a lot of the services, etc., will be provided by the government, I think. I feel like we are in for a very, very interesting, I'm very glad that I'm alive in the time that I am. I think that we are going to see some really, really crazy shit. I feel like we're already seeing crazy shit, and it's just going to get even more insane. Yeah, we are so lucky, boys. Like what? I think that people could, I think that we'll probably see like some sort of like deep dive neuroscience. We'll probably see all kinds of like ridiculous scientific developments. Like I feel like one of the very telling things about this is the AI art. I think the AI art it's like a mining canary for what's to come. Nanobots, yeah, there you go. Something like that. Transhumanism pog. Well, we already have transhumanism in a lot of ways. You have them with like, opposable, like replacement hands and stuff like that. But I think, like a lot of the things that are fundamentally transhumanism, they basically take somebody who's at 80% and get them back up to 100. But you're right that we don't have that many things that take somebody who's at 100% and expands their capacity beyond that. So that is what's going to happen too, I think. It's very exciting. Yeah, AI art is mind-blowing. Exactly, man. That's what people 30 years ago thought, but all they got are e-boobas. That's pretty big, man. Like, you think about, like, my dad. Like, whenever my dad was born in 1947. This is, like, 300 years ago or something like that. And, like, back then, like, that was the year that the color TV came out. He said the Pledge of Allegiance, and it didn't have "Under God" in it. That's how fucking long ago that was. Like, they didn't have computers, they didn't have smartphones, they didn't have cell phones, they didn't have air conditioning, they didn't have shit, man. It was totally different.